I never really understood the big deal when it came to weddings. But since moving back home to Nigeria 6 years ago and getting married, I soon found out how big a deal it really is. But what happens once the party's over and it's just the two of you? I started to think about this. As much as I've heard about the romance of it all, I've also heard about the stress, the fallouts, fights, and everything in between. Divorced after 6 months, happy being a mistress, the 7-year itch, 8 years dating but no ring in sight. The topics were endless. So I wanted to see what regular people had to say on these topics. I've spoken to single people, married people, and counselors. Maybe if we're all open about our experiences, someone out there may be able to take something good out of this. And I might learn a thing or two myself. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of So You Want to Get Married. So You Want to Get Married is table talk where we talk about anything and everything to do with love, relationships, sex, you name it, we talk about it. Today I am joined by 3 fantastic guests. First up, we have got the producer of Lotana the movie, Ifan. Ifan, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you. We're also joined by presenter Nike. Nike, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again.
Great.
And last but definitely not least, we are joined by actor Chris. Chris, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You all look great. You know, very bright colors and all that good stuff. And Ifan, I see you're promoting your movie and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm just trying to color block.
Okay, so today's topic is defining your relationship. Now you're probably thinking, what do I mean? But I'm going to read out a few facts before I start asking you guys questions, okay? So the first one, it says, an attractive face is preferred over an attractive body for long-term relationships. Do you guys agree? An attractive face is preferred, it's even the guys I should ask really. An attractive face is preferred over an attractive body for a long-term relationship.
I agree.
I agree. Because I think, basically right now, everybody, they all go with what they see. You get my almost, they're attracted. So if it's not your cars or like how you look, if you're tall or dark or light, you know, so they all just go with what they call to them, to their own point as preferred. Okay. Yeah. So it's what they
you know, you can work on your body over time, but your face is pretty much permanent, you know.
You don't agree, Chris?
No, I don't necessarily agree. The reason is because, I mean, if your face is not so bad, I mean, I feel like women pay more attention to what they look like body-wise than their face, because there's a lot, the reason is I have a lot of sisters. Okay. 4 of them. Now, it's easier for you to put on makeup and instantly look better, but it's not easy for you to lose that body fat, that you feel like you're gaining weight. Right? So if your body is relatively good enough, you have a lot less to worry about than if it was the other way around. That's what I think, though.
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective. Okay, let me read the next fact. The next fact says, a quarter of all adults have been in love with 2 people at the same time.
I totally agree.
Has it happened to you?
Yes, it has.
Oh, okay.
It's happened to me more than once. So yes.
More than once?
Yes.
Wow. Do you think you may have a problem?
At the time, I started to think that maybe I have a problem, but I figured it out.
What do you guys think?
I think it's possible, but I mean, it shouldn't happen so often.
I mean, it's not something you just set out, or you plan for it to happen. It just happens, and yes. Yeah, I mean, sometimes coincidentally, yes, it happens.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to the topic. So defining your relationship. Now, when I was thinking about the idea behind this episode, the first thing that came to mind was the word situationship. And I feel like situationship is a word that it's just been thrown out there in the last couple of years, like maybe, you know, the millennial generation or whatever. So do you guys actually know what a situationship is? A situationship, I understand, is where you don't know what you're in. It's just a situation. So you're not really boyfriend and girlfriend, and they might be sleeping together, but it's just a situation that you can't really define. Chris, I want to know, what are your thoughts on that?
That pretty much covers it. And I think a lot of people find themselves in that situationship because of several reasons. It could be out of fear of commitment or out of fear of the unknown. Most people feel like, I don't know, it might be better, it might be worse out there, so I might just be here right now, even though I don't know what it is. It might eventually unfold with time. So I think that has a lot to do with that situation.
Okay. Situationship. But do you think that is actually defining a relationship? Is a situationship now a type of relationship?
Well, I think it depends on the two people in the situation. Do you understand?
Even these days, most people kind of get themselves into the situationship without even them knowing that they are, in situationship.
I think it's something
because
you just planned.
Nobody plans anything. Most people don't even really plan it, but it just happened, and then they start, it just happened. What happened?
But sometimes people actually talk about it. Like, that's why I said it depends on the people. They might have agreed beforehand that, you know what, this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're going for. So don't catch feelings or anything like that. But yeah,
in a way, it's pretty much defined.
That's true.
Yeah, but most people find themselves in situations where they don't even know where they stand.
Yeah, and they're too scared to say anything.
I was talking to this is quite coincidental because I was talking to someone yesterday, a female friend, and she happens to like a friend of mine. I'm like, okay, what is going on between both? She's like, honestly, Chris, I don't even know where I stand with this guy. All I know is that I really like him and he really likes me, but I don't know where I stand. So because of the feeling she has, she probably will not hold herself back from giving whatever it is.
Yeah, or even giving up.
Yeah, but so it happens, and you don't always plan it for it.
Okay, so how would you say that a person can measure their commitment in a relationship? Like, if you guys are dating and you are getting serious, how do you measure how serious a relationship is? So is it a case of, when you first, if you've been dating the guy for 3 months, you must meet his parents? Is that a way of measuring how serious a relationship is?
But does this connect with you being married?
Because if some people date and they meet the people's parents, and it's just a case of they just want you to know that we are dating, and they want you to be part of the family. You can be dating for 10 years, and
I think it has to do with defining the relationship from the onset.
Yes,
do you understand?
Okay.
Because the relationship needs to have a goal. We need to know what we're working towards. So if we have this grand idea that I really like you so much, I see a future with you, then there should be certain things happening at certain points.
Just to stop you there, you said defining relationship from the onset, but how many people, when they start seeing someone, define the relationship?
Again, I have a friend. Okay. I won't mention her name. I have a friend.
Please don't.
Yes, I have a friend. Like, everybody around us, everybody right now believes that they will get married. She's in the relationship. She believes she's going to get married to this guy. But how true is it? How sure are we that this is going to happen? Okay, what if it doesn't happen? So it still falls back to what you just said. It's good from the onset for you guys to have a plan and know where it's going to.
But the thing is, it's not always easy. It's not always black and white to define a relationship from the start. Let me explain the reason why. If I meet you now and we're hanging out, we've gone on a few dates, right? There are several reasons why I may not want to be too oncoming, because I don't want to come off as being too keen, too needy, too forceful, too needy, too clingy, too everything. You on your own part as a female, especially in our society, we don't want to come off as too cheap, right? Or too determined. I must be with someone. I want to get married. And the issue about wanting to meet the parents, I think is relative from one individual to the other. For example, in my family, my mom is she's a people person, right? I've been in quite a few. Thank you. And I honestly don't have any problems. My mom always wants to meet the people that her kids are dating, whether it's...
So it doesn't mean that you're going to get married to that person.
It doesn't mean anything. For me, the way to measure the commitment in a relationship is, first up, you have to have conversations about it. Secondly, it has a lot to do with the actions that I take and the actions that you take. My thoughts towards you, your future, the plans I have for you, the plans you have for me. We're having conversations. You're telling me about things that you want to do, right? Maybe probably like a project that you're working on. How I respond to that, my inputs to that, my contribution to that, it goes a long way to show you that I have plans, even if I haven't really, gone out there to say, okay, fine, this is what I want for us.
Let me jump in real quick, because Chris said something.
Anything.
No, you said something talking about how most times it's not easy to, maybe sometimes the girl might feel cheap, or it's not easy to define a relationship from the onset. I've actually been in a situation where my pastor had noticed I was getting really close to this particular guy, and he was just like, so what's going on? Are you seeing anyone? And I was like, no. And then he goes, are you liking anyone? And then I said, yes. And he was like, okay, so what's going on? And then I told him, no, we just met, blah, 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 blah. And then he was like, has he said anything to you? And I said, no. And then he goes like, well, why don't you ask him? And then I said, and he was like, no, that you can understand how I would feel going to ask him. But then he said to me, he said, if this guy comes to you tomorrow and he says, meet my fiance or whatever, how are you going to feel? Right. And I said, I'm going to be hurt. And he said, exactly. So you need to go talk to him. Just ask him, like, you know, so find out. And I did. And I did. And then the guy goes, you know, I really like you, but I'm just trying to take things slow right now. You know, I don't want to get into any relationship. I really do like you. And I was like, okay. And then I told my pastor was like, you know what, just leave him alone. Let him, give him a space. And, you know, and I did that. And for like 6 months after, nothing happened. Like we just stayed like casual friends. But then guess what? He comes back to ask me out and now we're dating. So.
So do you think that if you hadn't taken that step, things might have been a bit different?
I think so, because I feel like I would have probably pushed him.
Yes, or you'd have been tired after a point saying,
I would have gotten frustrated with the situation.
I think sometimes it has to do with the individual as well. You get my point? Because most people might not have the courage, and most people, they are shy. Like we have most guys and even girls like they are shy to woo a woman. You get my own point. So it's actually good. Like what you did, it's actually good because. One, there is no time for you. We don't know if you're desperate.
Why is it there's no time for how?
No. We don't even know. Like So most ladies out there, they're in desperate need of a man.
Yeah.
Most of them, yes, and they're really ready to hire a man.
Ladies, I'm looking up for you. Are you?
You get so sometimes, and not when the clock is ticking. Do you want to know your faith? You want to know where am I in this time? Like what's happening?
My question is how soon is soon?
Before you start defining your relationship.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't ask that question. No, it was months. We met. Let's say we met in December. I didn't ask this question until maybe it was like 3 months later. Like maybe March. It was when when people. It was when people were already assuming that something was going on.
And at that time, then you knew, especially after your pastor spoke to you.
Yeah. Okay. I needed to address it. And even when I did leave him alone, I went on. In fact, I started liking somebody else. Like I just completely took him off my mind because I think it's very important to define a relationship because it lets you know where you are in your life and what's going on in your life, and you can plan your life and your future and whatever it is that you're looking for. Now, if you're okay being in a situationship, then don't come crying foul if the guy decides to get married to someone else.
In between, you might see me with a girl, and then you deep down your heart, you'll be pained.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't even know what's happening. You don't even know yourself.
If someone hovers around you for so long, and people are starting to get the impression that you guys are together, it might repel other guys who are actually interested.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, he comes up and like, oh, he just wants to be friends. What happens to everyone else who had the intention of coming up to you?
We've been talking about this from the perspective of the female. It also happens the
way around.
Where I've had a guy ask me out before, and when I said I think I took about a month before saying okay, and then when I said okay, it was like okay what? Like be clear
as to what the okay means. He doesn't want to get friend zoned.
I don't want to date myself, so tell me okay, let's be clear. You know, so sometimes guys also find themselves in that situation where they're with a girl, maybe they really like the girl or something or whatever, and the girl is probably liking 3 guys.
Well, all in all, let your relationship be defined. Yeah. So you guys, just know what's there.
It's enough time.
Okay, that's good. And basically, a closed mouth does not get fed, so you should open your mouth and ask what's going on. But guys, so we've actually run out of time, but it's time for our question of the day. And for you guys that are watching, make sure you join the conversation. You can send us messages to our social media handles. All right, so question of the day is usually unrelated to what we're talking about, and it's something that one of our viewers has written in. So this is a bit of a long one, so pay attention. I am incredibly close to my mother, so much so that many of my ex-girlfriends found out our mother and son relationship a bit too intense. She stays over at my house at least once a week, this is the mum, cooks a majority of my meals, and as her only son, she gives me preferential treatment compared to my sisters. She really dislikes my current girlfriend, Annabelle, and is always trying to get me to dump her. The reason being is that I am 29 and Annabelle is 37. My mother hates the fact that I like dating older women, and she thinks they'll eventually start treating me like a child. The other day, I caught my mother telling Annabelle that she's not allowed to call me baby, babe. Instead, she should call me daddy. Sorry? I'm not laughing at you.
Okay.
Sorry. She also told her to go and find someone her own age. Anytime I challenge my mother about her rude behavior, she says it's her lifelong duty to protect me from women with hidden agendas. My girlfriend has now given me an ultimatum. It's either my mother or her. I don't want to lose my mother's love, but at the same time, I don't want to be single for the rest of my life. What should I do?
Okay, for me.
So basically, he's a mama's boy.
Okay.
Established.
So what should you do with this predicament that he's in?
I think she made it easy in the ending part. It was complicated while you were going on and on, but she made it. You never give anyone ultimatum when it comes to family. As far as I'm concerned, I'm very close to my mom. I'm very close to every single member of my family, even my extended family. I expect her, as an older person, to be able to find a way to resolve the situation without making it seem like you have to choose. Where were you 20 whatever years ago when I was born, being brought up by this woman? If anything, you should try to get on her good side. Realizing the relationship I have with my mother, the best thing that can happen to you is getting on her good side, no matter how long it takes. Because if she gets to like you, she will protect you just as much as she will protect me. She will love you just as much as she loves me. If you put me in a situation where I have to choose between any member of my family, let alone my mother, and you've made it easy for me. It's a very easy decision for me.
Okay, interesting perspective.
For me, it has to do with attitude, and it has to do with, clearly said, he's the only son. Yeah, he's the only son, and we all know mother's love for her son, trying to make sure he's protected and every other thing. For me, age-wise, he's 29 and she's 37. There is a long gap. You get my own point. So I'm sure if it was a younger girl, she probably wouldn't and all that. So it has to do one with attitude. It has to also do with her appearance, how she take and treat her as the mother of her of her lover or her supposed boyfriend or whatever. You get my own point. So all those things put together, mothers do not want. No mother would want their son, the only son, to marry a woman that is, if possible, like old enough to be his mom.
I mean, she's not old enough to be his mom, but
she's almost 40.
She's
almost 40, and my son is just 27. My son. Nobody will.
Let's get a female perspective. Nikki,
I think she made a huge mistake asking him to choose. Yeah, like Chris said, you never ask a man to choose between you or his family. But at the same time, I can understand the need for him to take a stand. It depends on how much he really loves her and how much he really wants to be with her. There needs to be, it's a mama's boy. He needs to break. Well, clearly that's why he's dating older women, right?
Maybe.
No.
Well, you're right.
Do you understand? So I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be like shady or anything.
You're right.
But most people, most people have that mentality too as well. Like most guys. Most guys like if guys are 50, I can bet you 20 are into older women.
Okay, out of 50 guys, 20
20, they're like, and they will tell you like, no, I don't do like small girls. I like people who are like...
It needs to tell Annabelle, it needs to make Annabelle understand that, she can't keep doing this, like making him choose between his family and her. That's one. And then two, if he wants to continue the relationship with Annabelle, he needs to talk to his mom and take a stand. It might be hurtful at the beginning, but eventually she'll come around.
And Annabelle, the girl, needs to find a way into the mother, because that's the best way. That's the only way peace will reign, even when they are married.
Yeah.
And for her to get all all her full support into the
Okay,
marriage.
you guys, I mean, you've given some really, really good advice. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But you guys have been fantastic. This was so much fun. Definitely, definitely. Thank you guys so much. And I wish you all the best. And you definitely have to come back sometime soon. All right, guys, that's it for another episode of So You Want to Get Married? We will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye.